What's up, everyone? Welcome again to another custom action figure review. This time I'm going to be looking at these two Marvel Universe scale Wolverine figures. One of these was made for a customer of mine, the Tiger Stripe one, and the brown suit one, the classic version, I made for myself. As you can see, I made him a handful of alternate heads and hands, as well as metal claws. Did a lot of sculpting, added a lot of articulation. So let's get him down off this turntable here and take a closer look. Alright, we'll take a look at this guy first. This is obviously his 80s classic brown costume, which happens to be my personal favorite, which is why I made him for me. It took a bit of research to find the right recipe for these guys. There wasn't much of the original Marvel Universe figures that I thought would work or that I really liked. So these guys, these two figures feature a bunch of different parts from a bunch of different figures, all of which I modified in some way. So for this brown costume version, the shoulders and the torso are from a Captain Britain figure from the first Avengers line. And for whatever reason, Hasbro made that line and some of the other movies lines, they made the figures smaller than the mainline Marvel Universe figures. Marvel Universe is more around the 4 to 5 inch range, whereas the first Avengers line was more like a true 3 3/4 scale figure. So it's a little odd, but it actually worked out in my favor here because I wanted a shorter figure. So I modified his rib cage a little bit. I sculpted the details on his costume. I sculpted the belt and the buckle. Added a bit of detail to show some wrinkles in his little underoos here. Resculpted the neck, added a ball hinge neck so he can look up and then he can look down. Added some bulk to his traps. And then the biggest modification I did for this was adding a T-bar hip joint rather than the weird vertical peg kind of ball hinge things. The legs are also from that first Avengers line, except these ones happen to be from a U.S. Agent figure. There's a couple other figures within that line that have similar proportions, but these ones happen to have piping on the side of the leg, whereas some of the other ones have like piping down the middle, or they're all completely smooth. These have little wrinkles up by the crotch, which I wanted for this figure. The knees and the lower legs are the only pieces that I actually used from the Marvel Universe Wolverine. I resculpted the fins on the boots just to give him a bit more style, and I gave him some sweet ankle rockers, which is pretty much a must-have on any figure nowadays. The arms are from a Superhero Showdown Wolverine. There's not much good about that line, but the one credit I can give to that line is they all had a buttload of articulation. So not only do these elbows have, not only are these double jointed elbows, but they also had a lot of good detail with the sculpt, some veins and added musculature. The hands came from a site called the Angel Forge, which make all kinds of 1/18 scale accessories and custom parts. These originally had plastic claws. You may have seen that if you follow me on Instagram or watch some of my other videos. But I went ahead and gave him real metal claws, secured those in there, sharpened them up, polished them down, hand bent each one of them so they had a nice subtle curve to them. And then I also gave these hands a nice hinge joint, swivel hinge, and then sculpted the tiny little knuckle sheaths on each one of them. He does have a couple alternate hands, both figures do. One is just a generic fist, nothing too special about that. Did sculpt the knuckle sheaths on that as well, or knuckle covers. And then I gave him this little relaxed kind of cigar smoking hand. And I made a tiny little cigar out of toothpick. So each of these Wolverines comes with a few alternate heads. This head that I have on him right now is the Superhero Showdown masked head. Just like the boots, I resculpted the fins, or the portion of his mask that fly out here a bit more, just to give a bit more detail. This head here is also from the Angel Forge. I'm not sure where originated if it's a total custom, but it's got a great sculpt to it. It's even got some stubble. This is another Superhero Showdown. This is from a Berserker Wolverine. When he's in like his more casual clothes. I like the sculpt on that one, so use that one as well. And then this one here is from the school uniform Wolverine from the Marvel Universe line. And the Tiger Stripe version features all the same heads except for this one. Okay, so now we'll take a look at the Tiger Stripe or yellow version. This version of his costume actually appeared in the 70s first, right after his origin costume with the whiskers. But I think most people remember it from the 90s when Jim Lee kind of took over and revamped a lot of the X-Men. The recipe for this guy is basically the same as the brown suit version. The only difference is I went with the Marvel Universe X-Force Wolverine torso. Still has good proportion and has a good range of motion. And then I actually used another part from the original Marvel Universe Wolverine, these shoulder pads. Just cut a groove within his shoulder and glued those things in there. Just like the brown suit Wolverine, I also resculpted the neck, added some bulk to the traps, sculpted the little X on his belt, and then also sculpted the stripes. So as I said, he features 3 alternate heads. Again, this is the one from Angel Forge. And then he has the Marvel or Superhero Showdown version. Oops. And the classic or school uniform version from the Marvel Universe line. And then he has the same alternate hand. So just a regular fist and then a cigar smoking hand. So nearly everything I did to make these figures I covered in a series of live stream videos which you can find on my channel. So if you have any questions about how I attached the neck to the torso or made the ankle rockers or the final paint job, I answered all that stuff within that series of videos. So make sure you can go check those out. If I can get 1,000 views on each one of those videos, I'll start to do that for more, if not all, of my future customs. So if that's something you guys would like to see, you know, go like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. So alrighty, thank you for watching all the way through. I pour a ton of time and love into these figures, so I always appreciate the views and feedback. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, so leave a comment below. Or if you have a detailed question, you can hit me up through my website. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, but my website definitely has the best information. I got full galleries of all my customs that I've done over the years, video reviews, tutorials, an FAQ page, and even a shop with a couple custom heads that I've made over the last year. I'm looking to expand that shop with more items in the future, so keep your eye out on that. And thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Peace out.